What's happening, everybody? Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're talking about Lady Gaga, more specifically her third studio album, Born This Way. Now, if you're new around here, you might not know, but I've been going in chronological order, discovering who Lady Gaga is as a person and as an artist via all of her music and media surrounding each era. First up, we just check out the album, and then we do a deep dive into music videos, live performances, interviews, and all other cool behind the scenes stuff that gives me a little bit more perspective as to not only who Lady Gaga is as an artist, but also is as a person. I've done this for a couple other artists. You may be familiar with my format, you may not, but if you're new, hello and welcome. This is usually a pretty huge undertaking, so buckle up. I hope you enjoyed the ride. All right, last we left off was the Fame Monster album reaction. Then we did all the bonus stuff over on Patreon. In fact, I just finished up a reaction to her live performance, her first live performances at Madison Square Garden for the Monster Ball. And honestly, it was kind of an emotional journey, seeing the lead up to it, seeing how, nervous she was, and just like the giant success of it all and the inclusivity of it all was actually one of the more interesting, but more so beautiful concerts I've seen to date. So I don't know exactly where we're going from here. She left off with this a cappella version of Born This Way, which is the title track on this album and the name of this album. So it should be interesting to see what we can expect. As far as like sound design and lyrics and everything, like I really just don't know. Lady Gaga is one of those artists that will just swing and come out of left field, and you do not know what to expect from her. I've often thought of her as, okay, she's a pop star that has like shock value to her, and maybe that's like kind of her whole gimmick. I've learned that's not the case with Lady Gaga as an artist. She plays her own instruments. She's a fantastic and wild vocal performer, and she's an unspoken artist and voice in the community. There's a lot more to Lady Gaga than meets the eye, and if you just dig a little bit deeper beneath the surface, you will see that she is not quite like other pop stars that I cover, and that's one of the more fascinating things about me covering Lady Gaga, at least from my perspective and learning about it. Let's get to it. Let's figure out what Born This Way is all about.
I'm gonna marry the night. I won't give up on my life. I'm a warrior queen, live passionately tonight. I'm gonna marry the dark, gonna make love to the stark. I'm a soldier to my own emptiness, I'm a winner.
All right, pretty positive.
Marry the night. I'm gonna marry the night. I'm gonna marry the night. I'm gonna marry the night. I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm gonna marry the night. Leave nothing on the street to explore. Come, marry, marry the night.
This goes pretty hard.
I'm gonna lace up my boots, throw on some leather and cruise down the street that I love, in my fishnet gloves, I'm a sinner. Then I'll go down to the bar, but I won't cry anymore. I'll hold my whiskey up high, kiss the bartender twice, I'm a loser. I'm gonna marry the night. I'm gonna marry the night. I'm gonna marry the night. I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm gonna marry the night. Leave nothing on the street to explore. Come, marry, marry the night. Oh, come, marry the night. Nothing's too cool to take me from you. New York is not just a town that you'll never lose. Love is the new denim.
Oh, that bass is menacing.
Guns, the wedding bells in the attic. Kitchen Joe ready, come me no front. Won't poke holes in the seats with my heels, 'cause that's where we make love. Come on, turn the car on and run.
Nice little keychain out of the bridge. Little gospel flair, all right.
I'm gonna marry.
What is this?
I'm gonna marry. Marry. Come on, the night.
Oh. Oh, it all comes together. Please don't be a fade out. Okay, it appears we are doing a complete and total 180, and I know we're only one song in, but please hear me out on this one because we have to talk about where we just came from and where we're going into right now, just for a brief second. We're just coming off of the high of the Fame Monster album. Now think about the general themes of that album, the fear and insecurity surrounding everything. You know, I thought it was beautiful at its core, but there's definitely those underlying themes of all the different fears and insecurities that she has. So I was a little worried about where she was going to go with the next one, but we have definitely turned things around here. We're switching to a much more positive outlook on everything. Now, Marry the Night, obviously, it's about her embracing herself, really just finding self-love and just doing what she feels is right and what she wants to do in a very powerful and a very empowering way. Like, she talks about her love for New York, and this isn't the first time she's talked about it or mentioned it in interviews or anything, and her being a part of this underground kind of dance art scene in New York for a very long time. So it sounds like she's at a real healthy place here where she's taking a step back from all those fears and insecurities and really embracing herself. So from that perspective, it's completely beautiful. Now, let's talk sonically because this is an absolute anthem banger from start to finish. Like, even the general themes of like the sonic foundations and structure of this, like I thought at first would become a bit dull and boring, but there were so many melodic switch ups and so many different almost like quasi-genre jumps within this song that it definitely kept me on the edge of my seat going forward. I mean, we've got touches of industrial, gospel, electronica, pop, and rock all mixed up into this one anthematic banger. And it definitely has like this essence of like club banger type of beat mapping as far as like the 4/4, the 4 on the floor, whatever you want to call it, dancing that you would get. But the bass is just so fun. It's elastic and it's bouncing at times, and then it's dark and it's menacing. And then once those dark menacing tones, you know, fall out and we get into that kind of thinner gospel clapping section, when the bass does finally return, it returns with purpose and foundation. And it feels like we really kind of felt that we went on this journey, that there was ebb and flows to the song. It wasn't just verse, chorus, verse, you know, breakdown, bridge, you know, and back into the same thing over and over again. Like, it followed some of the same recurring themes as far as like melody's concerned, but like when we returned to them, it felt so comforting and so normal. And then that ending melodic little rolling synth patch, like it's so arpeggiated in a way where it feels like it's like almost just holding on to the basic root notes of the melody, but almost flying off at the same time. Like it has foundation, but it feels like it can go anywhere. And that's like the kind of melody and foundations that I enjoy, because that's what keeps you on the edge of your seat, you know, enjoying music from the perspective of a musician, because you really don't know what an artist is doing. Nowadays, it can be so formulaic, you know, you understand the basic progression of music and you understand, okay, it's going to be in this tempo and 90% of the song is going to be in this key and it follows this formula. But with Lady Gaga, that's not always the case. And I think it's very evident in this first track. So it excites me because if this is any indication as to where this album is going, thematically and sonically, I think we're in for a treat here. And I like the positive nature of it. And apparently we're out of our fear and insecurity phase, at least for now, and embracing ourselves. And I think it's got a beautiful message underneath it, you know, that she's at this cool place. So like, I'm happy for her. Like, I mean, the Fame Monster at the end of it and everything, I was kind of like gut wrenched, and I'm like, oh shit, where are we going? Like, this is like when the pressure's truly on, you know, like your first album, you can have a collection of music, you know, that's been on your discography for 10 plus years. And then your second album is normally kind of your make or break thing. And with the Fame Monster, having it be known as a second album amongst the fans, but kind of really an extended version of the first, in reality, Born This Way would be her true to form second album, even if that's not what people believe, and that's myself included. This is her make or break breakout moment. Can she keep up the momentum? Can she keep up the shift? Does she have anything else interesting to say? And sonically and structurally, is she going to add anything new to the conversation? You know, she was so experimental and expressive in her previous albums that, like, are we going to fall back and just follow basic formulas here, or are we going to shift out and, you know, embrace creativity and try and do some cool new things? My guess is that Lady Gaga is going to believe in herself, and it's going to be the latter. She's going to embrace creativity, embrace self, and I am 100% all for it. Let's move on. Let's see what the next track's all about.
It doesn't matter if you love him or capital H-I-M. Just put your paws up, 'cause you were born this way, baby.
All right.
My mama told me when I was young, we're all born superstars.
I already have so much to say.
She rolled my hair, put my lipstick on, in a glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause he made you perfect, babe. So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. There's nothing to say. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause I make no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself and regret, just love yourself instead. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way, born this way.
Oh, the melody's deteriorating.
Baby, I was born this way, baby, I was born this way.
Listen to that arpeggiated patch in the background.
Just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just
There you
be
go.
a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Give yourself prudence and love your friends. Subway kid, rejoice your truth.
Oh, that's heavy.
The religion of the insecure. I must be myself, respect my youth. A different law is not a sin. Believe capital H-I-M. Hey, I love my life, I love this record, and me, I'm on it, roll it, my eyes. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause I make no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself and regret, just love yourself instead. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way, born this way. There ain't no other way, baby, I was born, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way.
Her bridges are so good, man.
Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Whether you're broke or evergreen, you're black, white, beige, chola descent, you're Lebanese, you're Orient. Whether life's disabilities,
So it's everything, really.
Leader teased, rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born this
No
way.
matter gay, straight or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white or beige, chola or Orient made, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to be brave. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God made no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself and regret, just love yourself instead. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way, yeah. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way, born this way. There ain't no other way, baby, I was born on the right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way, hey, I was born this way, hey, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way, hey, I was born this way, hey, I was born this way, hey, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way, hey. Same DNA,
Yeah.
but born this way. Same DNA, but born this way.
All right, let's talk about it. That's the title track on this album, Born This Way. And yeah, I think I've heard some variation of this song in the past. Maybe, I don't know, I feel like I've heard it like in a movie trailer, or possibly like a commercial or something, or maybe just in passing the radio. But what I've never done is fundamentally try to understand this song, listen to lyrics, the sound design, the structure, the vocal techniques, all of that stuff. I've definitely never done that, but I think in some variation I have heard some of these melodies before. I've just never really paid attention to how they were all strung together. So today I did, and let's talk about it because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to Born This Way. This is kind of a lot to take in, and it's keeping in line with my original theory after the first track here that I think this is going to be kind of a more positive album. Well, first off, let's just talk about when this album dropped really quickly, and then we'll get into the song. This album came out in 2011. That was 4 or 5 years before gay marriage was even legalized. Like, I understand a lot of people, like there's a lot of acceptance now and everyone seems to be fairly cool with it to a certain degree, but for a very long time, a lot of us were raised in a way where like we thought that gay, not me necessarily, but a lot of people and friends and family that I know thought gay marriage was just wrong. It was an abomination. And I was even raised to believe that if you're gay, that's usually a mental disability or something, like there's something fundamentally wrong with you. And this song uproots everything that I was raised with and taught with, and not saying it was something that was shoved down my throat, but it was a general, thought that was in, some of my upbringing. And this is a complete and total 180. This is saying, no, that's not the case. This isn't a mental disease. This isn't a choice. This is something that you're born, and you're born in a specific way. And not only does it talk about and embrace the LGBTQ community, but it also embraces other factors of life as well, whether it's race or religion or whatever. It's just saying like, this is who you are, embrace who you are. It's not a bad thing. This is a positive thing. This is actually something to be celebrated. And I think it beautifully sums the entirety of it all up. And it's done in a way, and it's presented in a package and in a time before marriage was even legal between gay people. Isn't that kind of crazy to think about, that like, if you were legally married in America, like your marriage can only be like pretty much like 10 years old at this point. Like that's how far behind we were. Like you think about like how long 10 years is, and it's kind of nuts that it took that long. And maybe I'm in a bit of a bubble. I live in Massachusetts, very close to P-Town, which is a very predominantly gay community. And there's, gay people is just an everyday part of life with a lot of them around here. Like it wasn't really a big shock to me, but I know in other parts of the country, and I just reacted to an album by Conan Gray, and he talked about his struggles out in Texas with dealing with growing up and closeted issues, and people not always being kind and covering your voice and changing your tone and things like that, and the effect that has on not only you but the people that you love. And I know we're not here to talk about that, but I think it's worth mentioning that my opinion might be a little bit biased towards a larger chunk of America and people around the world. But I feel like we're in a fairly positive place at this point. It feels pretty accepting. But, in 2011, it wasn't. There was huge debates on the morality of love, which to me is just it's kind of wild. Like, how can we even decide that? I mean, first off, marriage, it's a beautiful thing. I love marriage. I love being married to my wife. Like it's, I think it's an amazing, wonderful thing. I've never really understood why the government has to get involved. I've never really cared about that aspect of it, I guess for insurance reasons or like whatever. But like, to me, it's always been like making a promise and giving yourself to life to somebody else and being around your friends and family and doing that and making that commitment to each other. Like that was always much more meaningful and impactful than like going down to the courthouse and signing something. But at the same token, like if you're not able to do that, if you're not able to do the same process that I had to do and have it be legitimized, like I don't know. I think there's like so much more trauma and there's so many more things to talk about that are just kind of swept in the rug right now. And we're talking about different issues and everything because it just wasn't very long ago where this was a huge thing, and I had I think I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to go into it, but I had a person growing up in my life that was a family member that was gay that I didn't realize was gay until after he passed, and then it made a lot of sense. But as a child, like he was a defining figure in my life in the world of the arts and even fashion and dance, and he just put like a different perspective in how I saw the world, much softer, kinder, and more open perspective that I was initially raised with. And it was just, I just had such great and tremendous respect for this man. Anyway, I'm going on and on about that. Let's talk about the song. I think sonically, yeah, man, it's kind of crazy that we have this interesting contrast between pop, rock, techno, and gospel kind of coming through it. Are we going to start getting into more religious themes? I'm not sure exactly where that foundation is going, but I think there's going to be a lot of really cool acoustic performances surrounding this if I had to guess, because I can just see her like in a church with like backup singers dancing and clapping and some wild, massive, 12-foot organs and things like that. Maybe I'm speculating or trying to manifest something, but I'm just seeing like the foundation and basic structure of these songs presented in that way, but in a tone that is just so celebratory and anthematic in its own way. Like it I mentioned Roland before, but I think she's actually using Korg synthesizers here because I'm just recognizing some of the patches. And I got into a little bit of trouble with this when I said some of her stuff was cheesy. And I know. People even warned me. They're saying, don't do that. Don't talk bad about Lady Gaga. And well, first off, I'm going to give my honest opinion one way or another. But second off, when I say cheesy, I don't mean it in a derogatory way. I don't mean like it in a cop-out, like, oh, you're using that cheesy thing. Oh, that's, you know, it's beneath her or whatever. Like, when I say cheesy, I hope you understand that I believe and I understand that everything that she does is done with inherent purpose. If she's using a patch or sound design in a certain way that sounds like it's coming from a toy, it sounds like it's coming from like a Halloween decoration or something, it's done by design and it's done to show contrast, because right after you hear that abrasive tone, that thing that doesn't really sound like it would be in modern music, it's immediately highlighted with some sort of beautiful cinematic, some sort of warm bass, some sort of pounding rhythmic line that makes up for it or just gives us that contrast, that depth in music. Like, it's a good thing to be cheesy. It's a good thing to have contrast, and that's what I mean by that. For those of you guys that are mad at me about saying the cheesy thing, but I'm going to continue to say it because it's just what I believe, you know, and not necessarily a bad thing. But we have got a ton of contrast in this. We've got a ton of these arpeggiated melodies that are just, it sounds like they're peaking, and like the distortion levels are just so high and the attack is just wild on it. And melodies underneath it that I guess are considered accent melodies that kind of fall again almost off key. It sounds like they're disintegrating. They never actually do go off key. They never actually do disintegrate, but they definitely get, I don't know, maybe phased out, or that it gets pitch shifted some kind of, no, not pitch shift. The frequency definitely changes on it, where it feels like it gets a little bit more wishy-washy towards the end, and it's on this really cool loop mechanism. Again, the bass is incredibly strong on this one. It is thumping, it's anthematic, it's just strong, it's the foundation, it's the driving force behind this song, and for the most part, it stays fairly linear through this production. Everything else is just accent melodies, it's off the wall, it's genre jumps, and it's just, it's exciting the entire way. Again, we return to previous themes with verse and chorus, and we follow certain formulaic things that you find in pop music, but the packaging is just, it's delivered in such a unique and unexpected way where it makes me excited. And vocally, I think it's awesome again, but I don't think I talked about Lady Gaga's vocals the first song. There's definitely a change here a bit in tone. So there's a change in tone where like she feels, or I feel at least, like her tone has gotten a little bit deeper. It's a little bit more pronounced. It's a little bit more assertive to a degree. And I think that's also done by design. And in a way where it feels like she might be almost upset or angry about something, having like that lower register. That's not exactly what's happening, because she's expressing what she's saying with such clarity and such authority that it's packaged in a beautiful way, because the words that she's saying are just such a beautiful and honest and truthful and great thing. So I think that's a really cool contrast as well. But it's beautiful from start to finish. And I don't know. I got nothing but positive and good things to say about this one. Born This Way. Definitely probably heard this in passing, but I've never paid attention to it quite like this, and I cannot wait to see how these songs are brought to life when they're live. I can see now why the Monsters Ball, like she did that acapella thing, and the outro of her in the dressing room with like people doing an acapella as well. Like, you can tell that she knows that she has something special here, and this song means a lot to her, and means a lot to me too, actually. Let's continue. Government hooker? What the fuck? So operatic. Oh, I'm digging the drama. God damn it, I love this girl. Oh, we're keeping the metronome? All right, cool. Oh, that dude's back. so eerie. All right.
Put your hands on me. John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
Squeal, baby. As long as you pay me.
I could be sex unless you want to hold hands. All right, Government Hooker. Let's talk about it here for a second. And let's get this out of the way real quick. Government Hooker, this song right here, track number 3, is probably my favorite out of all the 3 tracks I've heard so far. And I'm probably going to be alone on this one. I don't see this being a very popular track amongst people, but there's a few reasons that I really and deeply enjoy this song. In the first 2 tracks, we got these awesome self-love and awesome positive, like, anthematic bangers. And in this one, well, we're moving into things that are a bit more ominous, a little bit more dramatic, a little bit creepier, darker, and provocative in a certain way. To me, Government Hooker definitely feels satirical. It feels like she's kind of poking fun at something and approaching a subject from a point that definitely is supposed to be kind of funny. And that's why I enjoy one angle of this. And then the other angle of it from a sound design and structural standpoint is it's just dark. It's gritty. It's got like 80s wave and dark industrial tones and elements of like distorted techno riveted all through this that kind of give us a palette of just something a little bit grimier. So it's like sex forward as it's supposed to be. It definitely leans into the dirty angle of it all. And it's all wrapped up in what I believe is a satirical package. Maybe not. Maybe there's deeper meaning to this, and maybe she explains along the way what this actually means and everything. But to me, it's about her putting herself in a position of using sexuality as power and how to use it in a way to gain power, which is pretty damn cool, honestly. So it's empowering to that degree, but it's also dark and gritty and ominous, and like parts of it remind me of like an old Marilyn Manson song, and other parts remind me of like, I don't know, like 80s dance music to a certain degree. And it starts off in this like weird, almost like operatic way. So I thought we were leaning into something a little bit more, a little softer, a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more wide open, but that's just not the case for this. And honestly, at first it was a little weird to have the metronome there. Not saying it's a full metronome, but like at least the first 2 clicks of the metronome repeated over. But as the song progressed, like I started to really enjoy it. Like it started to like kind of feel like home to me, and it was just like a cool little clap track or a nice little element to add on top of the already fairly expressive beat mapping. So I don't know. It's not something that's often done with music, but I think she really stuck the landing on this one. I can just see her in the studio being like, you know what? I've heard this and done this, so many takes with the metronome already that maybe we're just going to keep it in because now it's just solidified as part of the song. Vocally, yeah, she's shown some interesting and darker and creepier and grimier tones in this one, especially with how she says hooker. It's still very clean and still very controlled to a degree. Actually, no, it's very clean and it's very controlled. This is going to be, I hope to God she actually plays this one live. Again, I don't see this being a very popular song amongst people, but again, I really gotta solidify, like, this is one of my favorites, and I really hope to God that she plays this live. I could see this with like menacing guitars taking over for some of the synthetic patches, and there's just so many fun and interesting and wildly creative things you can do with a song like this. Like the palette that it gives you in a live foundation excites me. So I'm praying to God here, like, we get this one live, because this is one of my favorites so far. I don't know though. Let me know what you guys think. I'd be interested to see what like the fandom thinks of a song like this. I think it shows a lot of her personality. And maybe I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't see some of her interviews in the past and seeing how satirical and funny she can be with people and how quick-witted she can be with people, where it kind of puts a song like this into context, where maybe if I hadn't seen that and didn't know a little bit more about her personality and her own ways that she finds funny of projecting herself, that I think it may have gone over my head. But if you know, you know, and that could be a turn off for people, or it could be a turn on. I don't know. And I think that's the idea of the song. Like that's the end of the thesis. Does this turn you on, or is it to turn you off? Because it's at two very different spectrums here of what it is. You think of like a hooker, like she didn't say sex worker, she said hooker, which kind of makes you feel a little uncomfortable. But then she's talking about sexual things and being a certain thing, and like her tone is very sexual in itself. So like you have this dichotomy, you have these two sides that are like you're battling on your head of like, do I like this or do I not like this? And if a song is even making me question that, I just chalk it up to you like it because the song is making you think. And in my opinion, this is a song that makes you think. I'm not even gonna look for the lyrics. I'm just gonna absorb the song.
Judas, Gaga.
Oh my God. There it is. There it is. There's that moment of cheese right there. That little stinger. Tell me, what does that sound from? Have you ever remember being a little kid and walking up to a door and you see a little ghost that's just hanging by, and you walk by and it shakes and lights up and makes a certain sound? That's the sound. That's the cheesiness. It's not a bad thing. Like we start off like so triumphant here, like we're building up, like she's doing her thing where she enunciates the phrasing or the vowels of the word and creates a melody off it, which we've seen her do before. But like we've got the soaring, arpeggiated melodies. We got the builds with the patches that are lifting. That's the contrast. And here we go.
Judas, Gaga.
There it is. Damn, this goes hard.
When he comes to me, I am ready. I wash his feet with my happiness. Forgive him when his tongue lies to his brain. Even after 3 times he betrays me. I'll bring him down, down. I'll kick with no crown, I'm just a holy fool, baby. It's so cruel, but I'm still in love with Judas, baby.
It's chaos. It's chaos.
Holy fool, baby. It's so cruel, but I'm still in love with Judas, baby. Oh, in love with Judas, Judas. Oh, in love with Judas, I couldn't love a man
Most biblical sense, I am beyond repentance. Bang hooker, prostitute, wench, vomit her mind. But in the cultural sense, I just speak in future tense. Judas kiss me if offense, to where ear condiments time.
I wanna love you, but something's pulling me away from you. Jesus is my virtue, and Judas is the demon I cling to.
Don't we all?
I cling to. Just a holy fool, baby. It's so cruel, but I'm still in love with Judas, baby. I'm just a holy fool, baby. It's so cruel, but I'm still in love with Judas, baby. Oh, in love with Judas, Judas. Oh, in love with Judas,
Well, if it wasn't clear before, it's definitely clear now. There are some religious themes intertwined through this album, not only with audio cues that we got in the first couple tracks, but also with a song like this, Judas. Let's talk about it quickly. So Judas, I'm pretty sure we all know who this guy is. He betrayed Jesus, got him killed. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. I'm not really a religious guy myself, but I think we all know the story to some degree of Judas and betraying him and, you know, it ending up with Jesus's demise. And the interesting angle of this song is it's not necessarily about Judas, but it's about being in the perspective of a person that's in love with Judas. It's kind of more relevant today than it's ever been. It's more relevant to all of us. And maybe it's just always been relevant that we've had figures in our lives that like we've loved, but they haven't always aligned with some of our own values. And I think with as polarizing and as divided as things are now, this is just kind of almost ahead of its time to a certain degree. You know, there are people in my life that like I love, I unconditionally love, but on some viewpoints we will never agree. And it's kind of sad, but maybe that's just what life is. You know, everyone's different to a certain degree, and you know, it sucks, but it's one of those things. I think it's something we've all had to either deal with, make peace with, or cut people off from. Whether you can come to that agreement of like, I can't get past this part of you. You know, I can't, you know, deal with this one angle of you that I'm willing to give up everything else. I think, you know, that's just a conversation you kind of have to have with yourself. And this is a song that's directly, you know, confronting that, because Lady Gaga is saying that she is she's welcoming the chaos. She's welcoming loving this person that might not be viewed appropriately by herself and maybe some other people. And I think at its core, that's really what this is all about. But I mean, the packaging on it is just, it's gorgeous, man. There's some great contrast. The beat just goes so freaking hard. Harder than it probably should go. This is probably going to be one of those songs. This is going to be an absolute banger live. I can again see some switch outs here happening. I can see some really playful and instrumental interpretations of this song, both acoustically and with a harder edge or softer edge, depending upon how she wants to do it, because this does go pretty hard. Basically what I'm saying is like, there's so many playful and interesting and cool ways you can present a song like this. And since I've seen her be so playful and so creative with her previous works, I'm kind of hoping and almost expecting that she does the same with this body of work as well, because the major singles we've got before this and like the piano renditions and like the over the top like rock versions, and like she packages these songs in different ways and performs them almost differently every time, or different in all the videos that I've seen. And I just it gets me at this point, seeing so many renditions of those songs and hearing these ones, it's getting me like excited. Like, how is she going to package this in a live performance? How is she going to strip this down? How is she going to add some, you know, even more dramaticism to this, or even less? You know, the sky is really the limit. So my head is kind of spinning in that angle, but I think presented in the package that it is right now, and even if we just get it as this song, you know, a Sonic and the foundation that it is performed live like this, I think it's gonna go freaking hard. I hope we get some live versions of this, and I hope they show the audience this too, because like this is like a dance mosh song. Like, actually most of these songs have been pretty empowering and very uplifting, and sonically has had a really cool upswing type of melody to everything, where everything feels aggressive in a positive way, not aggressive like violent, but like aggressive like determined and reassured, but definitely aggressive nonetheless. The tones have been sharp and the contrast has been beautiful, and it feels like she's really elevating her art here. And it's definitely apparent off of, you know, the Fame monster leading into this one, and just seeing some of those more aggressive tones get softened out on the edges, and even seeing how she's presenting her voice and using effects like vocoders and pitch bend and, you know, some quantizing here and there. But for the most part, it has some undeniable clarity to it, which really just, it solidifies a certain resonance in the subject matter of the song itself that sits very well with me. You can definitely tell she's learning from her craft here, and she's definitely trying to up her game a bit. Judas, I love it. I mean, what else can you say about this one? It's going to be an absolute banger live. The melodies are just infectious. All of the melodies in these songs have been pretty infectious. This is like, I feel like this is a pop album that's been designed for everybody, but like, I don't know how I missed out on this stuff when Lady Gaga was like coming up. Like, this shit would have been right up my alley, especially at my younger age when I would have been even more into this stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I fucked up. I fucked up, but I missed out on this. None of my friends told me about it, and everybody just discredited her. Everyone, and even I did too. I looked at her, I'm like, oh, Lady Gaga, yeah, she's that pop gimmick thing, you know? Little did I know that she was playing her own instruments, and she had a voice like this, and her direct input on the writing and creating process. Like, if I would have known that, all I can say with certainty is I was definitely ignorant towards Lady Gaga, and I was absolutely wrong. Let's continue.
I met a girl
Oh, jeez.
in East LA in floral shorts as sweet as May. She sang in eighths and two-body chords.
Okay, I understand eighths, and it's not something you normally sing in. Eighths is normally kind of broken up into eighths beats per the measure. Barrio chords, I've never heard that before. I'm familiar with bare chords and the technique of playing a stringed instrument and having it be about finger placement and everything. But I'm assuming she's using it in terms of variation of ghost notes. So if we dissect just that line alone, she's saying in eighth. She sings in eighths, so she talks and sings kind of sharply and sporadically and with much. Usually you don't sing in eighths. You know, there's eighths in beat patterns and everything, but it's just not something you sing in because it's just it would be very choppy, or it would be very muted. And Barrio, being a variation of what I believe might be a bare chord, means that she's kind of tiptoeing and dancing around something, if I had to guess. All right, let's continue. This is interesting so far.
We fell in love, but not in
Oh. Okay. Oh, it's like a mariachi thing. All right. All right. Fell in love, but not in court. This is different.
Mis canciones son del aire de evolución. Mi corazón me duele por mi generación. If you love me,
I think it's Spanish.
marry on the West Coast.
Like Kenya.
On a Wednesday, on un verano en agosto. I don't speak your language, oh no. I don't speak your, Jesus Cristo.
Love the horns.
I will fight for, I have fought for how I love you. I have cried for, I will die for how I care. In the mountains, las campanas están sonando. Todos los chicos
Love the horns. This is cool. Ends with a gunshot. All right, I'm gonna keep the lyrics up here for my explanation because I understand at least half of this song, the English version of this song. I think it's Spanish, possibly. I don't know. It almost sounded kind of Italian-esque. I don't know. Maybe it's just Americano and that thing there. But the lyrics I do understand are definitely very telling. Again, let's remember when this album was released. It was released in 2011 before gay marriage was legalized, which is, I think, pretty big deal here because I think that's what she's talking about is falling in love with a girl, or maybe not talking from her own experience. Maybe she's telling a story from somebody else's. The idea of your love almost being illegal and having it feel that way. I guess it kind of would be, you know, if you couldn't celebrate the person you love and you couldn't, like, you know, solidify that agreement and have the same agreement and have it verified in stone through the government like everybody else, which, by the way, is not all that great, you know. Getting the government involved most oftentimes kind of sucks. Like, I try to keep the government out of almost everything I do. Yeah, government involvement is never fun, but I understand. But yeah, so this line right here is what really got me. We fell in love, but not in court. And down towards the end, when she talks about love being living on the edge of the law and everything, I think that's, you know, the expression of being illegal. So sonically, this is it's fun, you know. It has like that kind of like party mariachi type of feel. It's got like some almost like Eastern European influences in it as well. I like the dichotomy. I like the contrast of organic and electronic instruments working really well here, especially with that sawtooth bass line with the acoustic guitar and the horn line and some of the cinematics, which again are designed and deliberately presented in a cheesy way, and cheesy being almost like it's being sampled from like an old school film or something where there's no bass to it. The mids are kind of transferred out, but that's okay because the bass line comes in with that sawtooth bass line and really just rounds everything out, even having such an aggressive edge to it, because it just gives us full chords and it makes things warm in an odd way. So in that aspect, I think it's got some really cool symmetry going on with the organic and electronic presentation here. Sonically, it's fun. It feels like a party. It feels like, you know, like if you weren't paying attention to lyrics or if it was all in Spanish, which, God, I hope this is Spanish. Watch it be a different language. And I just look like an idiot. But it feels fun. Like if you were just walking down the street and you heard this music and you saw people dancing in their backyard, you'd be like, oh yeah, those people are partying. That's a good thing. But in reality, it's kind of telling a little bit of a sadder song. A song that she's wondering, like, why? Why does this love have to be illegal? You know, why does love have to feel illegal? Why can't I love you like everybody else loves you in court? I mean, that's the big question here, and that's like the big thing, you know? I know I keep talking about this, like the legalization of gay marriage and everything, but like, it still blows my mind that like, it was just like 10 years ago. Isn't that insane to think about? Just 10 years ago. The song itself, though, it's fun, even if it has kind of a darker context to it, but I feel like a song like this is one of those songs that might reinvent itself, because if I was a gay person and it was 2011 and I heard this song, I may have at the time felt, oh man, this sucks. I can relate to this. I can feel this. And, you know, I wish I could marry the person that I love. And, you know, I could be seen as equal like that. And it might leave a sour taste in your mouth. However, now revisiting this song, even if I had experienced it as a gay person in 2011, I could see this as a celebration now as to how far we've come and how the tides have changed. It's one of those things where I could see this song taking on a new life and being something that's viewed as something more positive now. But the contrast is there because it feels fun. You get the driving melody, and Lady Gaga has like that classic staccato melodic interpretation that she does with a lot of her music, which is where she breaks things down and breaks it down into vowels and enunciations and creates a new melody off of it. Keeps things fun and lively. But I could also be wrong because I don't understand half the song.
Whenever I'm dressed cool, my parents put up a fight.
Sure. Let's just do some emotional, sensitive, soothing, sensual, soft sax. Yeah, I'm down for it.
And if I'm hot shot, mama cut my hair at night. In the morning, I'm short of my identity. I spend mom and dad walking. I'll be who I wanna be. Too bad. I just wanna be myself, and I want you to love me for who I am. I just wanna be myself, and I want you to know I am my hair. I've had enough. This is my prayer. That I'll die living just breathe my hair. I've had enough. This is my prayer. That I'll die living just breathe my hair. I've had enough. I'm not a freak. I'm just here playing to stay cool on the streets. I've had enough. And this is my prayer. I swear I'm as free as my hair. I'm as free as my hair. I am my hair. I am my
Hell yeah. Ooh.
Sometimes I want some raccoon or red highlights, just because I want my friends to think I'm dynamite. And on Friday, Roxy, high school dance. I got my bangs too high that I don't stand a chance. A chance. I just wanna be myself, and I want you to love me for who I am. I just wanna be myself, and I want you to know I am my hair. I've had enough. This is my prayer. That I'll die living just breathe my hair. I've had enough. This is my prayer. That I'll die living just breathe my hair. I've had enough. I'm not a freak. I'm just here playing to stay cool on the streets. I've had enough. And this is my prayer. I swear I'm as free as my hair. I'm as free as my hair.
It's total Springsteen, man.
I am my hair. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be me. And I want lots of friends that invite me to their parties. Don't wanna change, and I don't wanna be ashamed. I'm the spirit of my hair. It's all the glory that I bear. I'm my hair, my hair. I'm my hair, my hair. And my hair, my hair. And my glory that I
Bring it all together, man.
my hair. It's all the glory that I bear. I'm my hair, my hair. I'm my hair.
Oh.
I've had enough. This is my prayer. That I'll die living just
Oh, it's almost perfect, but it's a fade out. All right, we'll accept it. Well, at least the fade out was short-lived, so I'll accept that. All right, let's talk about it. Hair. I get exactly where she's going. She wants to be accepted. She wants to be loved, and she's seeing her parents say, like, no, you can't wear your hair like that. You can't do that. You know, it looks ridiculous or whatever. You're going to be a freak, and she just wants to say, hey, I'm just trying to do my own thing. I'm just trying to find my own identity and be my own person. Obviously, pretty relatable. I'm sure we all have stories like that, you know, with our parents saying like, hey, maybe don't go that far. Maybe don't do that. And then you'd be like, no, this is who I am, you know? I hate you, Dad. But to play devil's advocate, you know, to some degree, I'm glad my parents, you know, stopped me from doing some things. You know, when I was young and a teenager, I wanted to be edgy and cool and everything. So I'd have I wanted piercings and, you know, I wanted, you know, tattoos and which I got later. And I wanted, you know, interesting haircuts. And I did have interesting haircuts as I got older, but I remember being like a teenager and even a preteen being like, hey, can I get this haircut? And, you know, can I grow this and there? And they're like, no, you're going to look ridiculous. That's stupid. And I remember being pissed off. I'm like, this is me. This is my identity. But yeah, to play devil's advocate, I'm glad that they stopped me from doing some things and convinced me to ditch some looks that I've had because, well, I had the bowl cut for way too long. And I mean, if nobody told me that was dumb and, you know, my parents didn't make me get rid of the bowl cut, I'd be still rocking a bowl cut to this day, you know, just fucking right down the sides. You know, I also went through a bit of a goth phase, you know, which still to this day I look back at, I'm like, you know, yeah, a little cringy on my end for some angles. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, you know what? At least it was different and it was cool. And, you know, and that's why I can look at like youngsters today and God, I sound so old. But like I see young people today and they have like the same hair and I'm like, oh my God, that all looks ridiculous. That broccoli head thing. But I'm like, you know what? They're just doing their thing. They're finding their way. But it's funny, you know, I grew up in a fairly conservative house. So like, you know, as wild as some of my younger looks were, you know, it was definitely a fought experience, you know, with my parents and everything. And I remember even when I was younger in performing with bands and stuff and everything, like I remember seeing these big tough guys and they were all tatted up and they were blasted in their neck and they had everything. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. And I just remember having conversations with my dad, be like, yeah, that's great and everything. But like, unless you're making serious money in music right now and you can sustain yourself off of it, you're going to severely limit your job opportunities moving forward. And so I didn't get tattoos even until late in life, until one day I decided, I'm like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? You know, when I do various, you know, I work through various avenues and stuff, but essentially work for myself for most of what I do. And I'm like, well, who am I trying to impress anymore? And I talked to my wife about it. And she's like, yeah, I think it'd be hot if you got a bunch of tattoos. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm just going to do it. So I got them like in my 30s. I blasted my arms out. Most people are pretty cool with it. You know, I think tattoos and your hair and in styles like that don't mean what they used to mean, you know, and I think when most people see my tattoos, they're like, all right, he's probably not going to murder me. You know, I've run into a few instances where they're like, oh, they let you have tattoos like that. And my answer is always, yeah, as long as I keep my gang activity to a minimum and just try not to sell any drugs. They're pretty cool with my tattoos. But most people nowadays are pretty understanding of it. You know, finding your own style and everything to your hair as a young person, like, I think it's something we can all resonate with. I think we've all been there. We've all had those questions with mom and dad where like, they're like, no, don't do that shit. It's ridiculous. And just trying to be loved and embraced. Sonically, another banger. Again, mostly synthetic, not too many driving guitars. You do have a synth lead on there that's distorted. It sounds kind of like a guitar, and I thought that there would be this cool little breakdown. Like, it's very rock-esque. I was almost even expecting like a breakdown. Like, it was building towards something. I'm like, here it comes. When you get that, you know, aggressive breakdown that I crave in like metal music when I listen to that sometimes. We didn't quite have it, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't a payoff, because there absolutely was. Because we had so many elements that felt a little out of place in this. And I'm talking about like that smooth, sensual sax that kind of slipped in and out of the mix sometimes. And I'm like, Gaga, what the fuck are you doing? Where is this going? But I should have just trusted her, because by the end it all paid off. We had that awesome, that brilliant, wonderful climax where everything just kind of came together. This moment where it just kind of like built and like, all right, the sax makes more sense in this context, and like the piano trickling, and then like the drums recorded from a distance, that at least the toms were, where it felt like a stadium rock show. Like, I'm like, okay, it's all becoming very Springsteen-esque at this point, and I see exactly where she's going with this. And if I remember correctly, I think her dad was a big Bruce Springsteen fan. From one of her interviews or one of her live performances, she mentioned it, and I think she actually even covered a Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, she did. Yeah, in her early career, she covered a Bruce Springsteen song too. So like, I think Springsteen obviously had an effect on her and in her creativity and her love for music and growing up. So you can definitely kind of feel it in a song like this. It does feel overall positive, at least in its sonic presentation, and it does feel defiant in its vocal presentation. It's snarly at certain points, but she also has these wonderful and beautiful moments of just belting out, where she cuts through the distortion, you know, that snarly kind of raspy tone, and really just fucking lays it out there. And again, in almost gospel-esque kind of way. Again, hinting more with some more religious context or cues hidden through this song, but with so many hints of gospel music in this, it's hard to ignore because it's not something that she does often, or I've really heard her do, especially so much on an album, where I feel like if I keep hearing recurring themes like this, it's definitely worth mentioning. At first, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to relate to this song about her having, you know, arguments with her parents about her hair? But in the context of this album, the context of everything we've gotten in the general vibe and energy of everything, it makes more sense of, no, this is all about embracing yourself, loving yourself, and wishing those around you would do the same. And even if they don't ever agree with you, if they don't ever embrace you, yeah, that sucks. But at the same time, it shouldn't change how you view yourself and how you express yourself and how you feel about things yourself. It's just an unfortunate consequence of life sometimes. This is going to be another one where I can't wait to see this one live. I hope she does a lot of live performances for this album, because it's just like, it's so energetic and it's been so uplifting for the most part. And I'm just like awaiting this massive, brutal party. And if it's anything like we got from, you know, the Madison Square Garden performance, like, it's so cool to see it kind of go in this linear fashion, because I know where this all ends. We've done the Mayhem album reaction. We've seen that wild Brazil performance. We've seen what it all leads up to, and it's just so cool seeing it kind of play out every step. You know, her taking these little, oh, I'm graduating a notch. I'm getting a little better with my production. Oh, my voice is getting a little bit stronger, a little bit more intense. Oh, I'm showing a little bit more clarity. Like, there's little baby steps that are happening, but that's not how she's presenting it, because she's throwing a lot at us. She's still creative. She's still experimental, and that's the big thing I was looking for. And I think this is the mission so far of this album, is embracing yourself, embracing your creativity, and leaning on it, you know, having resonance in it. Yeah, pretty cool.
I don't speak German, but I can if you like.
Chibi?
Ich liebe auch så vi klär, ich skal bli madre monster, alles vi anske mig flaggen, vi kan vi uskebart bär, vi bin ausgewickler, vi skompet Ostermonster, alles vi anske vi flausen, Fräulein wische wie klär. Ich liebe auch så vi klär, ich skal bli madre monster, alles vi anske mig flaggen, vi kan vi uskebart bär, vi bin ausgewickler, vi skompet Ostermonster, alles vi anske vi flausen, Fräulein wische wie klär. Ich liebe auch så vi klär, ich bin madre monster, alles vi anske mig flaggen, vi kan vi uskebart bär, vi bin ausgewickler, vi skompet Ostermonster, alles vi anske vi flausen, Fräulein wische wie klär. I'll take you out.
All right, I obviously didn't understand any of that because I am an uncultured swine. I don't know shit. I barely speak English. All right, I guess we're going to have to revisit that and figure out what the hell she's saying. German. Sounded cool.
Put on a show tonight, do whatever you like. Scheiße, be mine, Scheiße, be mine.
When I'm on a mission, I rebuke my condition. If you're a strong female, you don't need permission.
I wish that I could dance on a single bed. I wish I could be strong without somebody there. I wish that I could dance on a single bed. I wish I could be strong without the shower, yeah. Without the shower, yeah.
That's fun.
Shower, yeah. Without the shower, yeah.
I don't speak German, but I wish I could. Ich liebe auch so vi klär.
Me too.
Madre monster, alles vi anske mig flaggen, vi kan vi uskebart bär, vi bin ausgewickler, vi skompet Ostermonster.
I don't speak German, but I wish I could.
Fräulein wische wie klär.
Love is objectified by what men say is right. Scheiße, be mine, bullshit, be mine. Blonde high-heeled feminist and let's think fun for this. Express your womankind, fight for your right.
When I'm on a mission, I rebuke my condition. If you're a strong female, you don't need permission.
I wish that I could dance on
I wonder if she's saying gibberish.
But I can if you like.
I wish I could dance on a single prayer. I wish I could be strong without permission, yeah. I wish I could dance on a single prayer. I wish I could be strong without the shouts of without the shouts of without the shouts of
How about it?
without the shouts of without the shouts of
Aus to be clear, it's nothing Madre Monster. Alles wie ausgelebt
Monster.
wie insgebaut wäre. Ich bin ausgelebt, it's komplett ins Monster. Alles wie ausgelebt, Fräulein, we should be clear.
Okay, so I understood half of this song, kind of, but I'm gonna have to go back and look at some of the translations to some of this because I'm missing a huge chunk of it. But I can't help but feel like she's being a little satirical in her approach, maybe to a degree, because she has that line where she says, "I don't speak German," after speaking German for like a minute and a half. I'm like, oh, all right, you just did. But I'll go back and I'll have to look at those lyrics. But I kind of want to just give I kind of want to shoot from the hip on this one because what I did understand lyrically, where it's talked about some females possibly being, questioned about their actions and about how they can love or do certain things. And it was about a voice coming in saying, well, if you're a powerful woman, you can do whatever you want. Now, I don't know too much about the climate in Germany, what the hell is going on over there. I've done videos where I explore the geography of Germany. I've talked to a lot of Germans when I was doing geography stuff. And I still have some people that are from Germany that are, heavily involved in our community. And I guess what I can say about people from Germany that I know is like they're very matter of fact. I find people from Germany that I've talked to are hilarious without knowing they're hilarious. That's just kind of like the nature of them as people. They're just so matter of fact about things and so dry about things that I can't help but find some of the things that they say and do kind of really funny. And they seem to be down for a good time as well. Most German people I've talked to have been pretty chill, pretty cool people, just very matter of fact about things, which is, I don't know. I think it's kind of an endearing quality. But so I don't know the climate of what's going on in Germany as to like women's rights and what they can, do or whatever. Maybe it's a little bit harsher than it is over here in America. I don't know. But the idea lyrically about this song is saying, well, if you believe in yourself and you see yourself as a powerful woman and you think that you are a powerful woman, you can do whatever you like. You can dance on that prayer. You can love who you want to love. And that seems to be the main message of this song. And kind of so far the thesis of this album of self-empowerment and self-love and acceptance and at any cost. And even though there are some drawbacks with some people's reactions to that, at the end of the day, you're not really here to impress anybody. You're here to live and love your best life, experience it through your own personal lens and not feel bad about your experiences because your experiences are that. They're yours. They're yours to treasure. They're yours to embrace. And that's what a lot of these songs have been about so far. It's been a pretty beautiful message. Sonically on this track, it's definitely techno-esque. There's elements of industrial. There's a lot of industrials to this album, a little bit more than I thought that there was going to be. Pretty interesting stuff. Some harsher tones, some harsher beats and everything. But it's just been, honestly, banger after banger after banger. There's been no slow, real ballads. Everything has been pretty up-tempo. Everything has been very dancey. Everything's been very forward-facing and like right in your face, and it's been delivered in a way that has reassurance, and not necessarily in a way that seems super defiant. And I think that's by design, because again, going off of what this album feels like it is, and I know we're only at the halfway point of this album, but I think that's the idea of it. That's the idea of self-love and self-respect, really. We haven't really gotten into the consequence portion of this yet, and it wouldn't surprise me if we got some songs that might be talking about the consequences of doing this, but I think it's just something you have to kind of live with and get through and deal with. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop it right here because this would be the halfway point in the album reaction. And yes, of course, I'm going to be doing the extended version, so maybe this will be a 3-parter or something, but I like to spend a little bit more time with each one of these songs and really absorb them. For those of you guys unfamiliar about how I do these albums, is I don't like to sit down and dissect this music for any longer than a couple hours because then I get tired. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up cutting it, and then next week I'll do the next one, or 2 weeks, or whatever I decide to do it. Meanwhile, while I'm doing that, I like to listen to these 7 songs or half the album kind of over and over and over. I usually listen to it 5 or 6 more times before we get into the second half, so it's nice and fresh in my mind, and oftentimes that gives me a little bit more clarity as to the sonic foundations, the directions, some maybe more clarity into the lyrical direction as well. But guys, that's going to do it for me here today. I'll be back real soon with the second half of this album, and then the bonus tracks, and then the live tracks, and the interviews, and all the stuff you've known to come to expect from me. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.